Hey, I am in the DMV in Lexington, North Carolina. This place is so charming, and for some reason it smells like corn in here. It smells like corn. We're here today doing the final test. You know, in North Carolina, there are 3 levels to get your driver's license. My older son is back there right now. He has to take a written test and a driving test in order to get his level 3, like actual license. I'm so nervous because if he doesn't pass, he won't be able to get another test before his birthday, and his license will expire, and then I'll have to drive him everywhere until we can, until he can try again. And so I'm nervous about it, but there's nothing I can do. I'm in here by myself, in case you were wondering. I wouldn't be making this video if I wasn't, because that would be a douchey thing to do. I guess I'll go. Hey, that first little clip I made earlier today, it is now significantly later. It's like 9:30 at night, and I'm working on another video. I decided to do the funny in the conversation hearts video, and I did a video opening the bag and sorting all those little candies out, and I wanted to just tell you how it went at the DMV. There's this weird thing about having kids that I don't think you're ever really prepared for. And I've noticed with my kids, I experience it more as they get older, where you have to start letting go. Like there will be things that come up. I don't know how to describe how this feels. It's like walking a tightrope. There's something coming up that's very important. You know it's important. The kid knows it's important. But as the parent, you don't know how much you need to emphasize the importance. Like, I don't want to nag them. I don't want to frustrate them and stress them out even more than they already are. I'm just afraid they're going to forget how important this is. Like, they won't take it seriously if I don't say anything. Oh, it's hard. It's stressful as hell. And that's kind of the way it was with my son, because he had to, like, his birthday's coming up, and to get an appointment at any of the DMVs around here, most of them are booking appointments out into April. Some of them are going into May for these appointments. So that is way past his birthday. And his license, the level 2 license he has, expires on his birthday. So that would mean for a long time he wouldn't be able to drive before we could get another appointment for him to go try again. Like, okay, I can't, like, I said this to him a couple of times leading up to this appointment. And I was always met with, oh, Mom, I know. I can't stress enough how no pressure, but you have got to pass this test. You've got to pass the written test. You've got to pass the driving test. You have to pass, because if you don't, I'm going to have to drive you everywhere until we can get you back to the DMV, and just hope to God you pass the next time. No pressure, but you have got to do this. Because we made this appointment over a month ago. And we had to go all the way to Lexington. None of the DMVs around here had any appointments until well into March. And this was back in like the first week of January. And now they're booking out into April and May. So that's why we ended up going to Lexington, because they had an appointment today. So we made this appointment back the first week of January, and I was able to get him in today. Like, thank God. Okay, cool. Now in North Carolina, it's confusing as hell, the steps you have to go through to get a license. If you haven't been through it in the last couple of years, you probably don't know. And I know there were some new laws that took effect January 1st of this year. I don't even know what they are. I do know a friend of mine, I'll tell you this, a friend of mine got caught up in these new laws, and she's trying to appeal it, but I don't even know who the hell you'd talk to. Okay, now her daughter, there are 3 levels to the full license, level 1, 2, 3. Now, her daughter had level 1, I think. That's like your learner's permit. And you have to have it for a certain period of time. It used to be, I think, 6 months. And then you could go for your level 2, which is like a provisional license. You can drive by yourself, but there are restrictions to it. And then you have to have that for, I think, 6 months, or maybe it's a year. And complete your driving log. You have to log your time and how many hours you drove in the daytime, nighttime. It's a whole list of things. And then you can go for the level 3, which is like the actual real full-fledged big person, grown-up person's license. Okay, so I'll tell you about my friend right quick. So her daughter had level 1. and they waited so they have to wait 6 months to go for the level 2. Well, that was in December. She went for the level 2 in December. Now, the written test for level 2 is very tricky. My son had trouble with it too. He had to take it twice. I think he had to take it 2 times. It might have actually been 3. I think he failed it the first 2 times because he said the way they word the questions is so confusing. Like, you can't tell, like, I don't quite get what you're asking me. And he asked somebody, one of the people there, for help, and they said, I can't tell you anything about these questions. I'm not allowed to help you. He said, but I literally don't understand these questions. Like, the way they're worded, they don't make any sense. I don't even know what they're asking me for. And then they would have, is it A? Is it B? Is it A and B? Is it A or B? You know, it's like, oh God, what? I thought this was a yes/no question. So anyway, he failed it the first 2 times. Well, anyway, my friend, he got it on the 3rd time. Third time's the charm. He got it the 3rd time. Woo. So he said basically what he ended up having to do was, he said, everything I learned in driver's ed, I just answered the opposite of what I learned in driver's ed, and I got them right. So, So my friend's daughter went to take it in December. She failed the written test. Well, okay, January 1st, a new law took effect saying that you have to have your level 2 license for a year before you can, no, level 1 I think you have to have for a year before you can go for level 2. I think that's what she was doing. So she went back in January to take it again, and they said, sorry, you're going to have to wait another 6 months because now with the new law in effect, you have to have level 1 for a year before you can come in here and take this test for level 2. Like, they didn't even grandfather these kids in. Like, you just, sorry. Well, you should have passed in December. I honestly, the people at the DMVs around here are straight up assholes. No offense if you work at the DMV in North Carolina. Y'all, seriously, I understand working with the general public sucks, but that is literally what she was told was, well, you should have passed it in December then, shouldn't you? Like, well, shit, excuse me. Assholes. They're not all like that. A lot of them are they give you extra attitude for free. I don't know why they are. I understand, again, having to deal with the general public can like crush your soul, but holy shit, that was unnecessary. So, yeah, her daughter had already gotten a job. She was going to start, and like now her mom still has to just drive her everywhere. She can't drive by herself. So, I don't know. That sucks. So anyway, as a parent, it's kind of hard to know when to let go. And I guess it's different for every kid, and every parent has their own level of comfort with that. But at some point, you gotta let go of the bike, and you just gotta let them pedal, and you just gotta let go of the bike. And I know teaching a kid to ride a bike, eventually you gotta let go of the bike. You gotta just let go, and if they crash, they crash. You have to let them. You have to let them try and fail. Sometimes they're going to fail. Sometimes they're going to fall. Sometimes they're going to crash. You have to let them. You can't hold that bike for the rest of their life. You got to let go of the bike. So all week, I have been biting my tongue like, don't. All I would say was, now don't forget, we have that appointment on Friday. I know, Mom. I know that. Don't say another word. I didn't. I was just reminding you of the appointment. I wasn't saying anything. I was just reminding you. I wasn't saying anything. No pressure. I know, Mom. I know. You're stressing me out just bringing it up. So it's hard, and there's nothing to prepare you for that. Like, I don't know. And you think as your kids get older, it gets easier. No. The stuff you deal with changes. I don't know that it necessarily gets easier. I think in some ways it gets harder. It's harder, but it's the best thing. It is the best thing when you finally do let go of the bike and you get to see them ride it by themselves, and the look on their face, it's just that's the best feeling in the world. Even if they crash, they can get back up and try again. It's all right. Let them crash. Sometimes they're going to crash. They have to crash. It's part of growing up. Everybody has to learn from their own mistakes. You cannot hold that bike forever. So So, okay, so the first clip was me at the Lexington DMV. Very different from the DMVs up here, I must say. Very charming, very small. We went right past it and didn't even realize what it was. I just, there was this little cute little building sitting there on this little 2-lane road in the middle of nowhere. Biscuit King was right down the road. Biscuit King, I made a video in the parking lot of the Biscuit King right down the road. Yes. And we went there for lunch afterwards. It was very good. My son agrees that their biscuits are really good. Okay, so we get there. I'm very pale. I'm looking at myself. I don't have any makeup on. I don't care. Sorry. No, the lady asked me in a very guarded, careful voice if I qualified for the senior citizen discount. No. Do I look that bad? Is it the lighting in here? No, honey, I am not 65. Thank you, though. That's sweet. Anyway, that was a bit of a deflation of my ego this afternoon. No, I am not over 65. Not quite. Not quite. Got a little bit longer to go. So we get in there, and there were two ladies working in there. The first one was reasonably nice, and then she went away. I don't know where she went. And then this other lady comes up, and she was very rude. Oh God, again, unnecessary attitude. So we go in there, and she said, hello, what are you doing here? What do you want? What do you want? We didn't have to wait in line or anything. The DMVs around here are massive, and you have to wait in these long ass lines, and good luck to you. I mean, you may get in, you may not. We tried to go to the ones here. It was pointless, totally pointless. That's why we went all the way to Lexington, damn 45 minutes away. Ugh, you do what you got to do sometimes. And the DMVs are like that here all the time. They're always booked up. They're slam full. I don't know what the answer is, but this is nuts. And it's always like that. It's insane. That's why we went all the way to Davidson County. So we get in there. She's basically like, what do you want? What are you here for? We have an appointment at noon. Confirmation number. And she's just looking at me and literally started tapping her toe because I had to pull it up on my phone because you get an email with a confirmation number when you make the appointment online. Literally tapping her toe because I wasn't getting it fast enough. And I read it off to her, and she diddled on the computer. And then she printed out a thing and just sort of thrust it at us. Wait, 2 numbers called. Go in there. We were literally the only people there. Well, I'll take that back. There was this one other guy there. You know, making it sound like you're so busy. And then she just went back and sat down like, okay. So we sat down just long enough for her to call our number. We went and sat down, and she immediately called our number. So we came back out, and my son had asked me, he said, well, I asked him, do you think I need to go back there with you? And he said, I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. So we walk back there together so that the little number pops up on the screen, and she gets on the intercom. Now calling number A3 or whatever our number was. What was the freaking point of that? We just walked around the corner, went in the little waiting room, sat down. Our seats aren't even warm. And then you call us back there. You're just being a bitch because you can be. On a little power trip here at this tiny DMV in the middle of nowhere. Well, aren't you special? So we go back there, and she immediately looked at me and said, I don't need you. Go back up there. Well, excuse the hell out of me. So I just looked at her and said, okay. God, what a bitch. So I went and sat back down. The little place was charming except for her. She was a machete mouth bitch. I didn't care for her at all. Let me tell you what happened. Okay. No pressure, right? So I thought, okay. I'm sitting over there just going, please, please, please let him pass. Please, God. And we took his car down there so he could drive his car for the driving test. He said, I don't want to drive your car. He calls my car a land yacht. It's not. It's a mid-sized sedan, but he said it's enormous. I don't want to drive your car. Like, whatever. I don't want you to drive my car. Drive your car. I don't give a shit. It's like a little glorified go-kart anyway. You drive it. Little golf cart looking thing. So anyway. So I made that little short clip, and literally it was maybe 2 minutes after I stopped recording. My son appears back in the waiting room. And I thought, oh my God. And my first thought was, how did he fail the written test that fast? I didn't say that was my first thought. How did he fail it that fast? And he said, I'm all done. I said, what do you mean you're all done? He said, I'm done. Look. And he had his little, the paper, the temporary license thing. He said, yeah, I'm done. What do you mean you're done? What are you saying? Like, it's not processing. Like, what? I'm looking at the thing and I'm going, this doesn't compute. He said, yeah, apparently I don't have to take a written test or a driving test. He said all she had me do was sign a couple of things. She took my picture, printed this out, and said you'll get your license in 1 to 2 weeks in the mail. And that was it. Paid her $20, and he paid for it. He did. It's so wonderful to have kids that pay for their own stuff. He said, yeah, I paid $20 and I was done. And I said, okay, we've missed a step here somewhere. Because nowhere in this process did he ever have to take a road test. Not to get his learner's permit, level 1. He didn't have to do it at level 2. And he didn't have to do it at level 3. And I haven't looked into the rules or the laws or whatever, but I don't think they've done away with the road test. What I think happened was, though, during COVID, they did kind of change the way they did stuff like that. And I think they did, they waived the road test for a while or they did something with the road test. I think they did away with it or deferred it, or they did something to it for a period of time. And I think when he got his level 2 license, it might have been in that period of time. Because he never did a road test. No. He did have to do a written test to get level 2. But he didn't have to do anything to get this. I mean, he had his driving log. He said she did glance at that, which is where you document, your driving and all that. And he's driven way more than the minimum amount. Like way more, because he drives himself to school. He drives himself to work. He takes trips and he goes places. Oh, God, yeah, he's good. He's totally good. So, yeah, but that might explain why so many people around here drive like they have no damn sense. They never had to take a road test. I would totally believe it the way people drive. They drive like they're a ball in a pinball machine. I mean, I've never seen it. People drive like it's the Wild West around here. Maybe they just never had to take that road test. I don't know, but I was very happy. Like, thank God we don't have to schedule another appointment. I don't have to drive him around. And he was happier about that than me. He said, oh, thank God. I was afraid you were going to make me start riding the bus again or something. So yay, he's got his final official big person license. So yay. Oh God, they grow up so fast. Let me tell you, honey, if you have young children, you will not believe how fast they get to this age. It is like snapping your fingers. Enjoy this while they're little. I know sometimes it can seem like, oh my God, the diapers, the cleaning, the this, the that, the car seats, it's never going to end. I know it seems that way. Oh my God, they grow up so freaking fast. You won't believe it. And I realized today, my 13-year-old is as tall as I am. He's hit a little growth spurt or something. We're the same height now. My little baby is as tall as me, and before you know it, I'm going to be having to teach him how to drive. Lord help me. Lord help me. You ever taught a kid how to drive? Holy hell. It'll take years off your life. But I need to get back to editing this video. I did a video with the Conversation Hearts, and I'm editing it. That's a helicopter. I'm gonna get back to editing it, and then I'll edit all this together, and I'll put it on for you after I finish this. But happy Friday to you. I have an appointment in the morning, a phone call with a life insurance agent. I'm trying to work out some stuff with my life insurance. I want to see what my options are. I want to get more insurance. I want to increase the amount before I do my trust, so I'll have all the information and I can just pop it into the trust and it will all just be in there. So I'm still working on that. I think I have all of my documentation together. I got a copy of the deed to my dad's place in Virginia. I have all of that information in the trust. I have all of my other assets in the trust. Yeah, I think I have pretty much everything ready. I have copies of everything and all the information ready for them to do. So, yeah, I will feel much better after I get that done. And I want to have more insurance to leave for them, for my kids. I just feel like I mean, I have a decent amount now, but I kind of feel like I would like to leave them some more. So I'm going to talk to somebody tomorrow about like what my options are for my life insurance. So that's all I have going on this weekend as far as I know. My foot is doing great. I was going to tell you, I got out and did some yard work today when we got back, and I was in the backyard for a while, and my foot feels good, and I'm very happy with this, with my shoes and my insoles, and yeah, things are good. And my son got his license, and oh, that was a big relief. I've been worried about it all week. Well, I've been worried about it since back in January when we couldn't get in, and oh my Lord, it was awful. So things are good. I'm very happy. Things are good. And I have somebody coming out from the security system place next week to do a little bit of extra stuff with my cameras inside and outside of the house. I'm doing a little upgrade on my cameras and recording equipment inside and outside of the house. So that's coming up this week. And I'm going to get an appointment with there's an eye doctor who sort of partners with Costco. And she only takes cash, which is fine because I don't have vision insurance anymore. And I got those No-Line progressive glasses. I can't work at the computer with those glasses. I need something else. So I'm going to talk to her about a different prescription from the one that the other doctor gave me, just to see if there's something else I could do for looking at like a giant computer screen for my work. Because those glasses that I have now just don't work for that. I've tried, they don't. I need something else. So I'm going to call and make an appointment for that. I mean, I doubt they'll see me next week, but I can call and get on her schedule next week. And you can get an eye exam with her, and it's only, I think it's $85 for the whole exam, everything. My son went there. I took him, and oh, she's great. She's awesome. And then we have a Costco membership, so we can just go right in there, and we get all our glasses and everything there. I get mine there. My son gets his there. My son's been wearing glasses now for about 4 years. And so we get he loves his glasses. They're really awesome. So I'm working on that. And then just everyday life stuff. So I'm feeling pretty good tonight. I hope your day went well, and I hope you have a good weekend coming up. I'm going to get back to editing my video, and then I'll edit this one, and I'll get it up for you. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day and a good weekend, and I'll see you again soon.